All right, what's going on, guys? This is take two. Something messed up with the last take, but basically, I not topped. I got really close to topping. 35-person local with Tri-Brigade Spright. You know me. I basically just played Tri-Brigade everything. Was playing Tri-Brigade Scareclaw for a little bit. It was alright. I didn't really do too well, but I think this deck is really strong. This Tri-Brigade Spright plays really well against back row decks, and it plays pretty well against Kashtira, and I think it would stomp most rogue matchups, because a lot of decks have a hard time playing around Tri-Heart, and they have a hard time playing against Revolt, and they have a lot of hard time against Iblee. And it extends for days. You can have a lot of layers of protection, a lot of layered interruptions, which makes this deck really strong. And I got a lot of this list inspiration from the people who played in Atlanta. Gosh, it's like I'm blanking on their names. What are their names? I don't know. I'll link their list in the description. I think what they did a pretty interesting thing. They played a smaller Tri-Brigade package. They like completely cut Fractal out, and they were playing Kit at 2. But I don't really agree with that. I think having having one Fractal just as an extra like starter in your deck is really strong, especially against rogue matchups. I think in a higher level event where you're playing in like a YCS or maybe even a regional where you're expecting to see a lot of Kashtira, maybe cutting the Fractal is a good idea. But I think for a local level, just having an extra Fractal for more starters and just have more consistency is really, really good. So let's get into the deck profile. And then I can also explain the differences in the list that they had. First of all, I played Fractal. They didn't play Fractal. I just, yeah, I think it's good. I'm going to cut this. When you dump off Kit off of Revolt, you want to have Fractal in deck just as an extra thing to send out in your grave. Just put more material in your deck. I think with the smaller Tri-Brigade package, there's a lot of times where you feel like you're missing materials to use in grave, and just being able to dump an extra one off a Fractal, or even if you have Fractal in hand and you need more materials in grave, you could use Fractal to dump your extra Beaver in your combo, or if you haven't, or even just dumping the extra Karis to get more material to play with. That would be it has pretty good utility, and I don't think you should go completely to 0. But yeah, that's the Tri-Brigade lineup. Let's see. For the Spright lineup, played 1 Smasher, 3 starter, obviously. Triple blue, double jet, and then 2 red, 1 carrot. I played 2 jet instead of 3, and then I used the extra slot to play Fractal, because I think this deck can struggle with consistency. I think jet doesn't get you as far in your combo as or jet by itself with like another level 2 doesn't get you as far as blue. So I chose to play 2 jet, 3 blue, and then 2 red and carrot. I think there's an argument you can replace one of these reds with the jet if you really wanted to, but I think having 2 in your deck is really strong. And then the carrot's good to play around spells and traps. Yeah, just like going what's called, just like going into the grind game, you want to see, you want to have reds in your deck, just because it's an extra 4-minute interaction that you may not be able to accumulate with Jet, because you can only search 4 things. You're searching Smashers turn 1, and then maybe you open starter, so you have like, when you go back to your turn, you like, maybe you can get another starter, but that doesn't really get you much if you're already on 1 red, 1 carrot. Yeah, I don't know. Not a hard math guy, but I think 2 is the way to go. But yeah, I like this line. It didn't feel super bricky. Now for the bricks in the deck. 2 Angler. I was drawing it all night. I don't know what's going on. But against a Labyrinth matchup, maybe they hit it, and then you get 2 Anglers for free. Or 2 Beavers for free. Because they have, I think it's the field spell or one of the boss monsters. They rip a card out of your hand, and somebody hit Angler. Play triple Beaver. Great starter. You got a lot of starters in this deck. You got 3 Beaver, 3 starter, and then 1 Fractal. So 7 1-card starters. Oh, actually 8 1-card starters, because you have Foolish Burial. So a lot of cards to get your plays going. And then any combination of a Spright plus a level 2 is basically will get you going. So there's a lot of different ways to play. And it's just it kind of feels like Dragon Link, where you just have so much gas and you just keep playing through everything. Yeah. Last one in the deck, Iblee, super strong, very hard to out, forces your opponent to go into Lingaribo, and then when they summon Lingaribo, they have to play into Mannequin Cat, and I play some different Mannequin Cat targets in the deck, which are pretty good. But like, if you Iblee them game 1, and then they go into Lingaribo, you can go blue, and you can add your Jet or your red or your carrot. Yeah, just a lot of different things you can do. I really like it. I would highly recommend, if you're playing Spright, you gotta play Iblee. Either in the main or the side. I don't really care where it goes. Just as long as it's somewhere where you can just cheese games. For the non-engine cards, 3 crossout, so I'm gonna have crossout ratios. Yeah, trigger warning, terrible ratios about to come up. There's no math involved behind these, it's just what I thought felt good. 2 Evenly, because people are main decking Board Breakers. 2 Dark Ruler, because you don't know what Board Breakers people are main decking, so you gotta play both. Eclipse, because it's good against Kashira, and that means a lot of people are playing it. So maybe game 1, they have Eclipse, and they use it to Book of Moon your Sprites. That can be a death sentence if all your cards get Book of Mooned. So you have your crossout to protect you. And then 2 Imperm, because a lot of people are playing, I don't know, it's just generically good, so it never really came out of the meta. And then 2 Nibiru's. It's super strong against Trap Tricks, super strong against Kashtira, really good against Rogue, so a lot of people play into it, and you can catch them. And if you summon it and attack, if you use or you summon the token, I don't know what the token is. If you give them the token, and the token is in that like sweet spot where it won't kill you if you use Ninja Mosquito, you can kill them using Ninja Mosquito. And then Triple Ash, generically good, hits everything, and you want to see it. Just different ways to layer your interruptions. You got Board Breakers, you got cross out targets. let me think. Let me even count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 plus the crossouts, that's 15 non-engine cards. You're probably going to open 2, which is pretty good, because I think you need 2 to break boards. It's hard to break with just 1. So 2 plus like 4 other cards in your hand. You just got straight gas for the whole, for your whole going second turn. Links, double sprint. You need to play 2 because Kashira can rip 1. Sometimes it comes up in the grind game, sometimes it doesn't. You can mill Kit, and then Kit sends Nerval. Nerval adds Karas. You can normal summon the Karas, and then special summon your Sprights. And then you can go into Gigantic, and then you're off to the races. Tri-Heart. I think this card's still strong. I think in the other list I was talking about earlier, they played Appaloosa instead of Tri-Heart. I think Appaloosa's fine. I think Tri-Heart's cooler. It's just like when you make it with IP, it's basically a tower, and a lot of decks have a hard time outing towers. Kashtira especially, since I think most of their they don't really have any link monsters that can hurt you. Big Bang would maybe be able to hit Tri-Heart, but you would just keep it. Yeah, I think the only way they can out it is with Donner, but if you make this with IP, then I don't think they have anything that could out it. Not even... Yeah, I don't think they can out this. I don't think they can out this if you make it with IP. So it's pretty strong. Double Shureg. You need 2. I don't think you need 3. I've been playing this deck for almost 2 years now. I don't think I ever need 3. I think 2 is a sweet spot. You need 1 for Revolt, and then you need 1 when it comes back to you, and then you need to put up a 3K body to finish them. Yeah, Shureg's super strong. Just generically OP. For the Link 2s, we play 5. The 2 Tri-Brigade ones. I don't think you need extra ones of these. Because you're only trying to make Revolt once. Or you use these as like extenders to put extra bodies up to finish your opponent. So, I don't think it ever came up today where I needed an extra one of these. Double Dragon Lords. Very strong. The bounce is OP. Especially against trap decks, apparently. Where they're not putting up like a bunch of monsters. So just being able to bounce what they do put up is pretty good. And then especially trap tricks. If you bounce their normal summon, they can't go into Sarah, and then they can't win the game. So yeah. And then Pit Knight and IP. There's just other generically good ones. Pit Knight's gonna be the one that you mostly go into. Because it is, it's good. I'm trying to think. There was one time I was supposed to resolve this, and I think I won before I don't know. I think I forgot about it, because it summons in the end phase. If you don't know what it is, if a monster points to you, activates an effect, it's an imperm that makes their attack 0, and then when it gets destroyed, you can summon in the end phase. So, yeah, just different stuff. Oh, no, I did win a game with this. Yeah, I remember now. It was like a Pit Knight and DDL, and these guys were just hitting Trap Tricks monsters. They're putting in the Lord's work. Alright, so those are the links. XZ's Ninja Mosquito. Epic combo. Basically, Ninja Mosquito plus 3 bodies just to attack wins you the game most of the time. If your opponent has something with like more than 2,300 attack, Is that right? 23? 24. They have to have 24. A monster with more than 2,400 attack. If you have Ninja Mosquito and 3 monsters, so we'll just grab any 3. So you have like 3, right? Mosquito attacks the monster, puts a hallucination counter, and then you attack with Iblee. Oh no, you take whatever amount of damage. But they take 24. Then you attack with Beaver, and then you take another 2,000, and then they take 24. And then the other Beaver, and then they take the third 24. I did the math wrong. It's actually, they need more. But 24 times 3 is 60, 72. So I think they need 25? No, that's, how much? That's 75? 28. I think 28. So basically, if they have a monster with 3,000 attack, you smack all of them into it, they take a bunch of damage, and then you don't perfectly die, and then you win the game. Yeah. Mosquito's good. I had chances today where it should have come up, but I just didn't make it. I thought it was just, to me, it's not as fun to make Mosquito and just cheese. I would rather just combo and take a million years to put 6 bodies on the board. 1 Zeus. I think in the other list, this is what was different. They played 2 Zeuses. I think that's a waste of a spot. You don't really make Zeus that much, so just play 1. And then if they rip the Zeus, you go into Shadow Mosquito, and then you win the game. They can't stop both. They cannot stop both. 2 Gigantics. You need 2. I think I used to be on 1 or 2. I'd have to check my past videos, but you definitely need 2. And then the 1 Mannequin Cat. Mannequin is super, super duper good. You can grab anything you want. You can summon it. It's like Small World, but it special summons them instead of adding to your hand. If your opponent has Iblee, it kind of forces them to trigger your IP. Not IP, your Mannequin Cat. If you don't know what Mannequin Cat does, basically, if your opponent has a monster in their grave, you can special summon it to their field. And then, separate effect, trigger effect. If your opponent special summons a monster, you could target that monster. And then special summon a monster from your deck with the same type or the same attribute. So, most decks play darks. If you have Iblee on their field, they link into Lingaribo most of the time, and then they trigger Mannequin Cat, and then you can summon a dark from your deck. So I can show you some of those targets that I had against Trap Tricks, Pankratops. It's an added form of just disruption. It pops a card on their field. You could hit the Sarah, and then they're just like kind of scrambling for more extenders, but they don't really have them if they don't have the field spell. Against Kashtira, when they summon Lingaribo, you summon Chaos Center, and then they can't banish cards. Turns off Evenly Match if they're maining it, turns off a Rise Heart, turns off Fenrir. Even turns off pretty much the entire deck just says no. And then against Labyrinth, if they special summon on your turn when you have a Mannequin Cat, you can summon Dark Simorg, and then they can't set cards. And then you win, because they cannot set their traps. And then again, Striker, all the Striker extra deck monsters are machine, so you can summon Spell Canceller, and then they gotta somehow out your Spell Canceller. So just these 4 targets. This could be anything. This can be something more specific to your locals. I just have a lot of Striker and Runic Striker running around, so I like to have that for Mannequin Cat. Other cards, we played 2 Tactics, Thrust, with the 1 talents. Strong card. I used Thrust today to grab Revolt, and it was really good. Lets you go into different lines of play where you don't have to use Bear Broom. So it saves you a headache of just trying to get into Bear Broom, link it off, and then being locked. Yeah. Played an extra Evenly and an extra Book of Eclipse for going second. And then this one just against the Cashier board. I think Tactics, being able to grab these guys is really good. Or even being able to grab Duster is really good. Especially because trap decks are such a pain in the butt to play against. Or even grabbing D-Barrier. Sighting it in, never saw it. I guess it could have been good. Yeah. And then 2 twins. Twins are strong. Yeah. Just twinning your opponent's trapped holes before you start your turn is very good. What were my... I don't know if I think I talked about my matchups. Round 1, I played against Labyrinth. I think... Oh, yeah, that's the one. Stevie Blunder. I don't know if you know that guy. He was playing Labyrinth. He wasn't running an optimal build. I think he was missing a couple welcome Labyrinths, so good for me, bad for him. But I won. And then I played against a Kashtira, and I opened up Nib and Ash 2 games in a row, so I ended up sweeping that guy pretty quickly. And then I played against a Trap Tricks player. That was just, yeah, it was a lot of grinding. Played a lot of evenly matched that game. So what I really like about this thing is you get to play a lot of back row removal. You get, like, if you, like, completely side all your back row removal in, you have quite a bit. You have, look at this. Look how much. That's why I like this deck. You don't have to worry about trap decks that much. Oh, hold on. It's right here. Yeah, against trap decks, like, half your... a quarter of your deck is just cards that take out back row. So, let's see. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then if you want... Even if you want to count these, that's 11. You get 11 cards to get you where you need to go. And then, you like the Shuraigs, Dragon Lords. It's all good stuff, man. You got so many cards to take on back row decks. Feels good. You don't lose the floodgates. You just duster them away. Duster the skill drains. Yeah. I really like this deck. As far as things I would change, I might change these out. In theory, they're super good. Honestly, I think this'll be epic the day I win with this. Spell Canceller, I don't know. It might be able to say it. Honestly, I don't really know what I would change. I think I just need more practice with the deck. But it plays really well. It's got excellent... You're able to grind really well. You can just win. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so versatile, and you have so many tools to just play against everything in the meta. It's like the perfect locals deck. Also, people aren't really hard siding against you just because, like, there's so many other things in the meta. Yeah, I mean, people were putting in D-Barrier against me, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll just do Tri-Brigade stuff. I got Lancia'd, and then I just, instead of doing the Tri-Brigade stuff, I just did Spright stuff. Yeah, there's just a lot. Yeah, it's just a solid deck. Super recommend it. As far as, like, lines of play, even I'm still learning those. I think I'll make a second video, like, showcasing how to play the deck, but just because this one's getting kind of long. But yeah, that's the deck. Enjoy. Let me know what you guys will change or what your thoughts are. But I think this is the goo. This is definitely the goo. Peace.